We have discussed bank rate, we have discussed open market operations. What is the common thing about these two instruments? Both are used by RBI to control credit or money supply. Is it clear with this? Now the third instrument, which so OMO is very important. Open market operation is still being performed by RBI. You will see it in the news. Third is in relation to what is called as variable reserve ratio. Variable reserve ratio, which is important for your prelims. Variable reserve ratio. Variable reserve ratio. See, again, it's very easy to understand from this term itself. First of all, it's a ratio. It's a ratio. Now, what is the specialty of a ratio? It will be having a numerator and a denominator. Simple. So, it will be having some numerator and we will see it. What is that? Then, it is a reserve. What do you mean by reserve? Whether you have any reserve, you keep it as a reserve. What do you do with your reserve? You keep it as a, you don't use it. You will use the reserve only from your reserve you don't have food. You don't use your day-to-day expenditure from your reserve. You are kept reserve for some purposes. Similarly, RBI asks banks to keep some reserve. It means that they'll tell them don't use this reserve for your normal business activity. What is the normal business activity for a bank? To lend. So don't lend from this reserve. And the third is, what is that? Variable. It varies. This reserve ratio or the reserve will be varied. Who varies it? RBI. Reserve Bank varies. For what purpose it varies? To control based on whether RBI sees one thing, whether there is sufficient liquidity or not. If the RBI feels that liquidity is not sufficient, it will do something to inject liquidity. It's simple here. Just see what RBI will do. RBI will see the liquidity position. If the liquidity is not there, it will inject liquidity. If it sees that there are more, means if excess liquidity, what it will do? It will absorb it. So it will use different instrument. Okay. Now in relation to variable reserve ratio, there are two types of reserve ratio are there. There are two types of, both are important, two types of reserve ratios are there. One is cash reserve ratio, and the second one is statutory liquidity ratio. Statutory liquidity ratio. Both are ratio. Cash reserve. I will learn one by one. Now, since it is a ratio, we need to understand what the denominator for this ratio. Denominator is nothing but the total deposit of the bank. Denominator is, so this ratio is decided by it's in relation to the, so see for a bank, their deposits plays a major role. For a bank, their deposits, for every bank, their deposits play a major role. Now if you see it, bank normally try to collect maximum deposits from their customers and from other clients in the form of time deposit. That is, another name for time deposit is fixed deposit, FD. You might be knowing like FD, fixed deposit. Another name for fixed deposit is time deposit. Means it will be having a time maturity for a particular year, for 2 year or 3 year or 5 year, whatever it is, or 1 year, like that. Now once the time matures, then only you can withdraw that deposit with the, you'll get the deposit amount plus the interest. So the RBI, every bank every bank give interest for their deposits, for their fixed deposit. Then only then you have savings account. All of you are having savings account. And if you notice one thing, after every 3 months, that is a quarter, after every quarter, have you noticed that there is a small increase in your balance? Have you noticed it? What is that? It is the interest for your last 3 months saving. Now, if you are a SBI customer, see, this is very important, it's current affair, I am just going in detail. If you are a customer like SBI or HDFC or normal banks or old banks, HDFC is not an old bank, normally nationalized bank, they give for SB account interest rate of 4%. They give interest rate of 4%. For FD or term deposit, it varies. The interest rate varies from, some bank give 7%, some bank give 7.25, etc. depending upon. So the deposit rate is like this for savings account. Normally all banks gives 4%, but there are some new banks like Yes Bank and Kotak. They give better interest rate. I think Yes Bank gives 6% interest rate. And I think they are new generation banks. I think Kotak also give a better interest rate because they are new bank, they want to attract customers, that's why they are giving a better savings interest rate. So in that scenario, so deposit are a liability for the bank, yes or no? For bank balance sheet, deposits are a liability because they have to pay interest for it. Now what they do? So this is their liability. Now what is their asset for the bank? If the bank is having a liability, bank should also have asset. The bank's asset is their loans, their advances. Another name for loan is advances. The bank give advances or the bank give loans to the customers. So loans or advances are the bank's assets. Now once this assets or loan become bad loan. What do you mean by bad loan? The customer have taken a loan and they are not paying back. Simple. Bad loan means the customer is not paying back the interest, customer is not paying back the principal. So then we call the bad loan, another name for bad loan is non-performing asset. It's asset, but it's not performing, it's not giving any interest. So these terms you will come across, we will discuss in detail also, but just to have an idea. So what are the asset of a bank? What are the liabilities of a bank? Now what the bank does is, from normally the traditional banking system is like this. From their deposits they lend. From their deposits they lend to the customer. So do you think that the interest rate will be having a difference? Deposit rate interest and the lending rate, there obviously there will be a difference, and that difference is their profit for the bank. So lending rate is, every bank lending rate to an extent is determined or decided by the deposit rate given by that bank. So deposit rate and lending rate have a relation, and that's your current affair. That's the current affair, and when you just see it, the earlier articles which I posted it and the articles which will be posting again will be mentioning it. Okay, so are you clear with this concept of deposit rate relation with lending rate? Any doubt regarding the deposit rate, lending rate? Obviously, you take, and when you give at a higher interest rate, and that margin will be the profit for the, that we call it as spread. Spread will be the margin, that margin will be the bank. So bank, based on their ability, some bank will give at a lending rate will be lesser, some bank may give a lending rate will be higher based on other factor. Not only, see, don't think that only deposit rate is the factor. Deposit rate is a factor, then there are other factors also which we will be discussing one by one, but have an idea, deposit rate plays a major role in determining the lending rate. And for a customer like us, or a businessman, or a person who want to start a business, for him lending rate is very important. Why? you as a businessman or your brother or your father, ask them what you prefer. You prefer a less interest loan or a high interest loan? What do you mean by high interest loan? Your liability is more, you have to pay more interest. When the interest rate is high, you have to pay more interest. So what will you prefer? You prefer less interest, because if the interest is less, your expenses is less, and from there also you can make an earning. Means that if the, so normally when the interest rate regime, when you have a less interest rate regime, there will be more business activity, and that will result in economic growth. Try to understand that relation. Okay, so what we are discussing is in relation to deposit. So when RBI calculate, when decide what is the CRR or what is the SLR, it takes into consideration one common factor, that is the total deposit of the bank. It will take into consideration what is the total deposit of the bank. Now when we say total deposit, it includes all the deposits, that is time deposits and demand deposit. Time, so generally we can classify deposits into two: demand deposit and demand deposit. Second one is time deposit. Another name for time deposit is fixed deposit. What do you mean by demand deposit? At any time you have kept the deposit with your bank, but whenever you demand it, the bank have to give you that money. Your savings account deposit is a demand deposit. Any time you can go and withdraw that money. But can you withdraw the same, your FD? No. You have to break that FD, so the bank may charge you some fee for it, since you have broken that conditions. Okay. Now have this in idea that both the deposits, that is demand deposit, the bank's total demand deposit and the total fixed deposit or time deposit is the total deposit of the bank. Based on the total deposit, Reserve Bank have told, out of your total deposit, another name for total deposit is net demand and time liability. Liabilities, deposits are liabilities. Net means you take everything and remove the expenses and all these things, that's its net. So total, you make it very simple. Net demand and time liability is nothing but the total deposits of the bank. What is demand and time? Demand deposit and time deposit. Liability is the deposit. Net demand and time. So this term also you will come across, net demand and time liability. What is it? Nothing but the total deposit of the bank. Now so what is cash? So we are going to the topic, cash reserve ratio. What is this cash reserve ratio? RBI will tell every bank to keep a certain portion of their total deposits as reserve in cash form. That's why cash. The reserve has to be kept in which form? In cash only. Where? With RBI. So these are the key things. In CRR, out of your total deposits, a certain percentage in cash form have to be kept with the Reserve Bank of India. This is what is called as cash reserve ratio. Cash reserve ratio. So two key things are there. One is it is in cash form. It should be in cash. Second thing is it should be kept with the RBI. It should be kept with the, so in CRR the reserves have to be kept with the RBI. It's in cash form. But the most important point in relation to CRR is, which is current affair, that the bank will not get any interest for it. No interest. Now see this is the current affair for you. If you see in this, if you see any news related with CRR, in every CRR news this common point have been repeated again and again and again. What is this? The bank will not get interest for CRR. It is the feature of a CRR. The bank will not get interest. So now try to understand that the deposits which the bank collects is a liability. So minimum, so there will be mainly, at least there will be lot of savings deposits will be there. The bank have to pay 4% to their customer, but the same cash, out of that cash, if they deposit in with the Reserve Bank of India, they don't get any interest rate. So this CRR cost, CRR is an additional cost for the bank. So when they decide the lending rate, when the bank decides the lending rate, they have to take into consideration the CRR cost also. You are getting the point? So not only the deposit rate, this is an additional expenditure for the bank. They have to keep a certain percentage of their reserves, of the certain percentage of the total deposit with the Reserve Bank of India, where they will not get any interest, So that cost also have to be taken into consideration when they schedule, means when they plan their lending rate, So this is about CRR. Now what the RBI will do in relation, now for what purpose CRR is being used by RBI? Now what is the present CRR rate? It is 4%. CRR present rate is 4%. It means if a bank is having total 100 crore as their total deposit, 4 crore in cash form has to be kept with the Reserve Bank of India. So they can use only balance 90, it's a reserve balance 96 crore for lending activities. And what is the specialty of that 4 crore? They will not get any interest. Just have an idea regarding cash reserve ratio. Now the question is how the Reserve Bank India through CRR absorbs liquidity or injects liquidity. Simple. Now what the Reserve Bank will do? By increasing CRR, absorption. By reducing CRR, injection. Very simple. Now answer that question on CRR. Question number 11. When the RBI announces an increase in the CRR, what does it mean? Commercial banks will have, clear? Okay, so this is in relation to CRR. Now comes the current affair. What is that? Incremental. Now you are clear with CRR. Once you are clear with CRR, we will understand what is this incremental CRR is all about. So before going to incremental CRR, you have to have an idea what happened from November 8th onwards. November 8th, you know, one thing you know, that the government have demonetized 500 and 1000 rupees notes. It is now not a legal tender. Now what the bank have, RBI have told, or the government have told that now what you can do, those who are having old 500 and 1000 rupees notes, you can either exchange or can deposit with your bank. And so they allowed the people to deposit the old notes, but they made a restriction in relation to withdrawal. Yes or no? So it's obvious that you can deposit as much you want, but there is a restriction on withdrawal. What will happen to the bank deposits? Bank deposits will increase and it has increased to lakh crore suddenly in few days or in a very short span of time. Now think about this situation, that bank is having lot of cash in their hand. Now for the bank, this cash in their deposit, that especially most of the deposit have gone to, you might have heard that Jan Dhan account. They are all saving bank accounts and to other normal saving accounts. So lot of deposits have gone to saving bank accounts. Now in the saving bank account, minimum bank have to give 4%. Now the bank have to do something with this deposit. What the bank started doing? Bank started purchasing government securities, which is having an interest rate of 6.7 something. You getting the point? The bank which is having, so anyway they have to give 4% only. If they get something for 6.5 or 6.7 and that too zero risk, there is no problem. There is no problem. Now what happened with this? There was greater demand for government bonds. There is greater demand for bond, means what will happen to the bond price? Bond price will fall. So this will change. So bond price have started falling, and that has initially affected the yield. So keep one picture in mind regarding this demonetization effect, how it has happened. That is in relation to the open market. Secondly, there is another window is there in relation to Reserve Bank of India, which I am not discussing because which I have not discussed. We will be discussing in relation to the fourth concept, what is called as liquidity adjustment facility. Just have an idea what is this, what happened in relation to incremental CRR. So in relation to once the bank was having huge deposits, first what it tried to do, it didn't went to the directly to the purchasing government securities. What it has done is, it went directly to the RBI. It went to RBI and told RBI that take our fund and return us government securities. There is a provision is there between. There is a provision between Reserve Bank of India and the Combank, in the sense that they have a temporary measure to exchange government security for cash. That we will be discussing. As the fourth topic under liquidity adjustment facility. So just keep this idea in mind, that the cash which was there extra or high with the bank have disturbed the banking system. Not only banking abilities but also the Reserve Bank of India, it also have disturbed the government bond market. So how it got disturbed, we will discuss after discussing SLR and liquidity adjustment facility. But just have an idea what Reserve Bank have done in relation to solve this problem. So when the bank were having lot of deposits, what the Reserve Bank have done, it has taken a period. That is from, I think, November 11th, something like that. You just see the date, I already posted it. From November 11th to I think September 26th to November 11th, that period is there. You just see the date which I posted in the news. From, if I am correct, it is September 26th to November 11th. During that period, it has taken that period as, it has fixed a period, what is called as September 26 to November 11. During this period, what all deposits have come to the bank, that RBI knows it. What they have done during this period, normally CRR is how much? It's only 4%. But what RBI said, that what all deposits have come to the bank during this period, that is from the present CRR, how much increase has happened. What it said, that the entire deposit, and that means 100% deposit which the bank got during this period have to be kept as CRR. Have to be kept. So what all deposit the bank collected, as per the banking calculator, somewhere around 3 lakh crore. Something around this much of fund as deposit have come during this period. The entire deposit The entire deposit have to be kept with the whom? Have to be kept with the Reserve Bank of India in cash form. Now what is the problem with this? What is the problem with this shifting of this total deposit to Reserve Bank of India? The entire amount, where the bank have to give 4% minimum interest in the savings account, have to be kept idle, with the Reserve Bank of India in the form of CRR. So this increased new condition, and RBI already told this is only a temporary measure. Once this ample liquidity is there, once there is ample liquidity, we will withdraw it. And the withdrawal for this incremental CRR was yesterday. This was applicable till, this incremental CRR was applicable till December 10th. That it was mentioned by the RBI. So the date is not important. For you, the period, the date is not important. For you, the concept is important. Why RBI have done this incremental CRR, and what the bank have requested RBI, and what this lot of deposit which have received in the bank, the total more deposit which the bank have acquired, how it affected the not only the banking system but also the general interest rate regime. It has made an impact in the government security market. It has made an impact in the interest rate regime. It has even impacted the policy rate of RBI also, which I will be discussing now. So just for time being, have an idea. We will have more clarity after we discuss SLR and LAF. For time being, just have an idea that incremental CRR was, as the term suggests, what is incremental? Increase in the CRR. Increase in the CRR. And what is that increase? The increase is for this time period. And what was the increase? Unlike the other CRR, which was 4%, this increase was for 100%. The entire amount have to be kept with the Reserve Bank of India. Now once incremental CRR happened, what has happened to the banking system? We will discuss. Now for you, is this clear? What is incremental CRR and what impact it has made to the bank? The impact it has resulted in more liability for the banks, because the bank were expecting, since they were having huge deposits, they were expecting that the Reserve Bank of India may reduce the lending rate. So that was the general feel of the market, but that didn't happen because the entire things got changed because of this unexpected. So this deposit was unexpected, to an unexpected level. Nobody thought that this much will come, because there is no withdrawal. No, only deposit is increasing. Withdrawal is not happening at all, because there is a restriction is there, and there is a business pessimism is there. New note have not arrived, so that every field, if you see the last 2 or 3 months data, it shows that in every business sector demonetization have made an impact. So there is a slowdown in many of the sectors, especially the agriculture and business activities. Okay, just forget about all these things which I discussed. Now keep this one point. What is this? What is incremental CRR, and what impact, and what was the major grievances of bank? Bank said this point, that we are not getting any interest. We are not getting any interest for the deposits in CRR. So that bank only suggested, instead of CRR, why can't you give us these two options? Why can't the government do this option? Why can't the government invest in MSS? Or why can't you absorb this extra liquidity through cash management bill? These two have become important, current affair. So when the RBI introduced incremental CRR, all the major banks, their head, especially their CMD, have suggested government to support RBI, thereby instead of absorbing liquidity through CRR, you absorb liquidity through cash management bill or market stabilization scheme bond. What is that? We'll discuss. So I'm just giving you an idea how this issue have moved. So because of this issue, the concept of CRR has become very important. In the CRR concept, the most important point is no interest. Then this new concept, what is called as incremental CRR. Why the RBI have done incremental CRR and what was the impact? That can be a potential question. And the bank suggested, instead of incremental CRR, the bank suggested MSS and CMB, and both have happened recently in relation to the government have issued MSS bond through RBI, and the major instrument is also used by, especially cash management bill were used by Reserve Bank of India to absorb a certain amount of liquidity. We will discuss that. Okay, now come back to the topic, the major topic. What is that? Cash reserve ratio. Since we were discussing cash reserve ratio, we have just discussed incremental CRR also. Now regarding cash reserve ratio for bank, it is not a good thing. That's why many of the banks are asking to abolish CRR. But RBI have not done it and they will not do so. Second is, so this is one way in which CRR is the one way in which Reserve Bank of India can control money supply. The second is it's another ratio, what is called as statutory liquidity ratio. Now this reserve, again it is a reserve. This reserve can be not only in cash, that's different. This reserve can be in cash, it can be in gold, or it can be in government security. It can be in cash, gold, or government security. This is another reserve. Now another difference is that here the reserve have to be kept with the Reserve Bank of India. In SLR, the reserve can be kept with the bank itself. Bank can keep with itself. But since it is a reserve, it can't lend to its customer. So if the bank is, now you tell me that which one will bank will prefer? Cash, to keep this reserve in cash, or gold, or government security. Cash, the bank will not prefer as SLR. Why? They will not get any return for it. In gold, there is a volatility is there. You can't say how the gold price will move. Then the best way for the bank to invest or to keep is in the form of government security. Now here lies the relation between SLR and government security. So indirectly through SLR, RBI is supporting the government. How? If government, now see there is a obligation, statutory obligation on the part of the bank to keep certain percentage of their deposits as SLR. Now when they are being given three options and the third option is the best option, where they will get a minimum return. What is a government security? Government security is a bond which is having an interest, but in the case of cash and gold, that interest part is not there. So what the bank will prefer? Bank, what all SLR requirement is there, all the bank will deposit in government security only. So when the bank purchase government security, they have to keep it with themselves. They will have to keep as per the SLR requirement. If they see, suppose this SLR requirement of the bank is somewhere around 21% of their total deposits. So if 21% of the total deposit have to be kept with the bank itself. Now imagine the case if the bank is having 100 crore as their deposit. 4 crore has gone. Why? As CRR. Now 21 crore have to be kept with the bank itself. Now what the bank will do? Bank will be keeping in the form of government security. So indirectly every bank is giving a loan of 21 crore to to the government. So I told this reserve can't be used to its customer, but it can lend to government, because it's not directly saying that it is supporting government, but actually by purchasing government security it is giving loan to the government, and it's risk free. It's risk free in the sense that there is no risk at all, like our Vijay Mallya. They will not run away, they will pay, and at least that return is sure. So bank does not have any tension regarding whether but the interest rate will be low. But compared to Mallya, interest rate will be low, but guaranteed return, and they will return you what have been borrowed. So that's sure. So be very clear. So SLR is also a reserve. It can be kept in cash, gold or government security form, but bank prefer government security. Where the reserve have to be kept? It has to be kept with the bank itself. So what the bank will have done? The bank have purchased government security and kept in its vault. Now try to understand. Now you need to be very clear. Every bank will be having lot of government security, because it is a statutory obligation for them to have government securities. Now what the bank have done? Na? Bank have kept more than the required. Bank have kept more government security than the required one. Why? Now there is huge default. There is a business pessimism, and now recently also a report have come that in India and certain especially developing countries, the business pessimism is so low, the bad loans ratio is going high. So the bank is also hesitant to give loan. So they are looking for safer avenue, and one of the safest avenue is government securities. So this you keep in mind in relation to SLR. So SLR is nothing but again a reserve ratio. It is in relation to total deposit. It is kept mainly in government securities form, and since it is kept in government securities form, at least the bank will get some return, and it has to kept within the bank vault itself, with bank itself. So this thing you need to be very clear with SLR and CRR. Now again concept is same. How the RBI do with this injecting liquidity and all these things. Now what will happen is, when SLR is increased or decreased, or CRR increased or decreased, what will happen to the liquidity? The liquidity is in relation to the government security, which is, there will be more demand for the government security, and it will have see, now there is an obligation on the part of the government, part of the bank, to keep a certain percentage as SLR. So they can't lend to anyone else other than to government. It's not lending, they are purchasing government security and keeping it. Now once that restriction has been reduced, the bank may see, if you see this case, now don't consider in relation to the present scenario. Think before demonetization. Normally if the RBI want bank to reduce interest rate, lending rate, RBI can do different steps. One is RBI can reduce CRR. So whether reducing CRR will have an impact for lending rate? See, when CRR is reduced, what will happen? There will be more liquidity with the bank. Not only that, the liability of the bank also will come down. Imagine that from 4%, CRR is reduced to 3%. So what will happen if the 100 crore is there? From 4 crore, it will be to be kept with the RBI is 3 crore, and that 1 crore earlier there was no return for it. Now for this 1 crore there will be more return for the bank, and that can result in, if the bank want to transmit that benefit to the purchase of the customer, then the bank may reduce the lending rate for 0.5 basis point like that. So that have to be happened. So as per whatever RBI will do in relation to lending, it has to, or in relation to the ratio, it will have an impact on banks lending also. Just have an idea. Now what I am trying to say is, by controlling this reserve ratio, by increasing and decreasing both these ratio, RBI can control liquidity in the system. What you need to know is, what is the difference between, both are variable reserve ratio, both are variable, it can be varied by only Reserve Bank of India, both are reserve ratio. The difference between this reserve ratio is, in one it's to be kept with the RBI in cash form, in the other it can be kept in any form but with the bank itself. Just have this idea. And SLR question also have been asked in 2000. See the third question of SLR, not second question, 2015 question, second question. See, for new students, you may have a problem of this GDP growth, foreign investors, like that. So leave that first to choice. Answer is either C or D. What will be the answer? See, those two things we will discuss. I told you that there is an interrelation is there in relation to growth rate, and when we will discuss foreign investment, you will have more idea, and regarding national income, you will have more idea. Now the question is, why it is not D? It will not, it is different. It is cutting the schedule statutory liquidity ratio. Now the very important thing is that you need to, one keyword is there, may. It is not saying that scheduled commercial bank shall cut their lending rate. That's not, be very careful, word is very important. Scheduled commercial bank may cut their, that's the possibility, may cut their, it's not necessary that whenever the SLR have been reduced, the bank will cut lending rate. It may, so in this fourth choice, this is the best choice. In ABCD question, you have to go for the best choice. All the three are wrong, but this is correct. But I am telling that certain keywords are very important. This may, all, only, these keywords, whenever you read in the choice, be very clear, underline it and read it again. Okay, so answer is C. Then question number 12. Question number 12. What is the answer? SLR, D. Now read question number 3. Question number 3. Now be very careful. It is talking about statutory reserve requirement. Both are statutory reserve requirement. One only. It's only one only. To enable the central bank. I told you. See, the basic purpose of this is, whether it is bank rate, OMO, or say this variable reserve ratio, it is to control the money supply. If it is controlling the money supply, it is indirectly controlling credit. It is controlling credit means it is controlling the advances, loan. The loan can generate, the bank can generate. So by varying both these reserve ratios, it can control how much bank can give as loan. The rest thing, like to make the people's deposit with bank safe and liquid, that is not its purpose. To prevent the commercial banks from making excessive profit, that is also not its purpose. To force the bank to have sufficient vault cash to meet their day-to-day requirement, that is also not the purpose. Is to enable the central bank to control the amount of advances the bank can create. So one only is the answer. Now see, these are the three conventional mechanism used by Reserve Bank to control money supply: bank rate, open market operation, and variable reserve ratio.